Hello there, Ray here, and behind me is the world of testing. Essentially, I have designed this world so that every time we have a new snapshot, we can easily come on and see what is working and what is not. I filled this place full of all different sorts of cool glitches and tricks that we use in our survival world, and today guys, we're going to go through and see what is working and what is not working in the new 1.15 snapshots. And I have a new skin with a crown on top of it. During our testing stream, we had everybody dressed up as Bumble Rays. I was so-called the Queen Bee or King Bee, and that was a lot of fun, and we did that during our Twitch stream, which is also the time we designed this world here. So if you guys want to be right there as we're discovering new things, be sure to go ahead and follow me on Twitch. All links are down below. So let's see what still works and what is broken in the new 1.15 snapshots. If you guys do notice anything that I have missed and you guys are curious about, be sure to go ahead and ask it down in the comments and I will add it to this world. We have a lot of cool stuff to look at as we got a lot of dupers and generators. Right over here we have the wither. So one of the things I want to test is the little cool mechanic that I showed you guys way back in 1.13 where you can stop a wither from attacking stuff just by having blocks inside of it. So let me demonstrate. If we put a chicken over here, the wither won't be able to really hit it with its side heads, but its main head will be able to shoot a black wither skull out and kill this chicken. Now if we go ahead and put a block inside of the wither's feet down here, so if we press F3 and B, we can see his hitbox, and we'll put a piston right here and a block right there. Now we'll just go ahead and power this block, and now it is inside of him. And if we put a chicken over here, you'll see that the wither main head attempts to shoot, but the explosion will blow up immediately where it comes out. So it spawned directly inside of its head and it just blows up and is unable to fly towards the chicken. Now if we go ahead and remove this redstone block, removing that block there, now he's able to shoot wither skulls and hit the chicken. So it seems to still work as the wither was unable to hit the chicken when we put the block inside of him. This is a really cool mechanic I use in quite a few different farms that I have withers in to turn them on and off easily. This also makes having wither based stuff a lot more safe as you can kind of prevent the wither from having his skulls fly all over the place during certain periods they don't want them to. Now there are some other cool tricks that you can do when it comes to putting blocks inside of entities. So for quite a while when you place a block in, the game would always use the default shape of that block and then it would update it later. So putting this fence gate in by this redstone torch, it would first put in like this type of block and then it would change it into an open one. Now they did change this, so now it'll actually update immediately, and this allows us to do some pretty interesting stuff as I can put this fence gate directly inside this wither. Even though he has an entity here that's occupying this space, you normally wouldn't think you can place a block inside of him. If I would try to place this gate like right underneath of me, I can't do it because I'm standing here and the block cannot be placed inside of an entity. But if I place it along this redstone torch here, what's going to happen is it's going to be placed in the open form, which does allow entities to be inside of it. So if I click right here, you can see I can put a block directly inside of the wither. This is because when the gate is open, it doesn't have any collision, so the game will allow it to be placed inside of entities. Now you can also use this as an on and off switch for the wither, as when the gate is open, there is no block technically inside of the wither. So if we put a chicken over here, you'll see he's able to go ahead and shoot at it and kill it. But if I was to close this gate, now there is a block inside of him and he is unable to go ahead and hit that chicken. So it's kind of a cool way to make an on and off switch for the wither. So let's continue our testing. Over here we have that automatic chicken farm using a fox with a sword in his mouth. So a lot of times I see you guys asking, do fox still able to pick up like stuff in their mouth? Can they still pick up swords? Is the sword still able to do its enchantments if the fox attacks something with it? Let's go ahead and test that. What we'll do is we'll just remove this fox and the sword will get picked up by the hopper minecart in this hopper and be placed down in here. And you guys often ask, does the fox also use durability of the swords when they're using them in their mouth? And the answer is no. Mobs don't use up durability of most tools that they have on them. If it has like thorns on it, then it will use durability. So let's go ahead and put a new fox in here. And let's see if he's able to pick up the swords. We don't want to put it over there because the hopper will pick it up. We'll just drop it right here and see if he picks it up through the corner. He does, so they are able to pick up swords. And let's see if he's able to kill a chicken and having the looting effect apply to it. So we'll just go ahead and clear out this. This is the loot that you can get from the farm. That sword does have looting on it, so we should be able to get more than one raw chicken. So let's go put a chicken in there and he'll kill it. You see he did get the fire aspect of the sword applied to it, so it seems to be working. Look at that, guys. One chicken killed, and we got 3 cooked chicken out of it. Really efficient farm. If you guys want to learn about this farm or any other things that I show in this video, I'll put all the links down below. So next up here we have a sand converter. So this used to work back at 1.12 and used to be able to push red sand into like this normal sand, and then you can convert it over into red sand. So this side is the side that's supposed to be changed over into this color over here. And let's go ahead and press it, and you guys can kind of see how it works. So they kind of get pushed both in together, and then the sand drops through the center. As you see, it does not work. Our normal sand over here is still the same color. It hasn't changed whatsoever. And this hasn't worked since 1.12. Because in 1.13 they changed the IDs of blocks, as blocks used to have similar IDs if they were similar blocks. And now they're all kind of given their own IDs. Now another one that you guys probably want to know works or not is a major one, which is bedrock breaking. This is a bedrock breaking technique that Ed Example, one of the ProtoTech members, showed you guys. I'll link to his video, and I have a nice little setup here of how it works. It's already built up and everything. All I have to do is flick the switch, and here's the bedrock. Let's see if it actually gets destroyed. So you can do this in survival, and yes, it works. So you can still do bedrock breaking in 1.15. Now, a YouTuber named Newcake showed a even simpler design for breaking bedrock, and this is directional and has some other quirks to it, but it's actually very simple, where you stick a TNT here and it blows up this piston, and then you put a new piston in its place, and because this piston was retracting while it's being blown up, it's going to apply that same event to the new piston you placed in, so it's going to be retracting and it's going to remove this bedrock piece right here. Now, in order to get this to work, you do have to click really fast or have a macro to click very fast for you. So I have one here on my mouse. If I go ahead and hit this button right here, you see my guy is placing blocks super fast. I also have one to break blocks really fast for testing. So you need to make sure your piston is extended. You also need to have redstone block or any redstone source on this side, and something that's not going to blow up on this side. Here we just have an obsidian block. And then you want to make sure that your TNT and your redstone block are either on the north side or the south side. If the bedrock piece that you're trying to break has coordinates that are positive over here, you want to make sure that you have your redstone torch and your TNT on the south side. If the bedrock coordinates are negative, you want to make sure you just have them on the opposite side, so on this north side. Then you want to place the TNT beside this head as well as this power source here. And then afterwards you want to aim right at the edge of this obsidian and place in the piston and have it spam clicked. And now as you can see, I was able to place the piston in and it was able to destroy the bedrock. It's actually very consistent if you first get it figured out. It doesn't hurt to go into like a creative world like this and give it a couple practice tries so that you get pretty good at doing it. Here, I'll go ahead and do it again. Yep, so you can see I destroyed it again. So once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to do it pretty efficiently. There are some odd cases where this doesn't work, and you can check out his video for those cases. Next up, let's take a look at this pillager. This is a weaponless pillager that you can obtain in survival. This was shown by a friend of mine named Anna Ahmed. And the way that this works is that pillagers have crossbows that actually can take durability, unlike most tools that mobs carry or even spawn in with. So essentially what you do is you have a pillager that is constantly trying to shoot at a villager, and over time, for every time he shoots, he takes durability on his crossbow, and eventually it's going to break, and then he's going to be without anything in his hand, so he's going to have no crossbow whatsoever, and you get this guy here, which is a peaceful pillager. And he shows this cool setup here where you can have 6 layers of snow, and then the pillager, when he shoots, his arrows are kind of come from the center and just going to hit the snow, even though he can see over top of it. So we press F3 and B. You can see his little red line can actually see through this, and you can see this villager over here. And over here I have a command block which is just going to summon in a crossbow that has 1 durability. So you'll be able to see a crossbow on this guy. He has a crossbow, and see when he shoots it, he uses up his last shot, and then his crossbow broke because it ran out of durability. Now you got a peaceful pillager. So if I go ahead and break this glass here and I go into survival mode, you can see we got a pillager here and he's not trying to attack me. If I summon in a villager, you can see he doesn't try to attack the villager either. He's just kind of doing his own thing. If I go ahead and hit the pillager, you can see that he is like taking damage from me, but he's not going to like turn around and start attacking me. So it's similar to like other passive mobs which don't attack you whatsoever. Kind of crazy looking and really funny to have. And this trick seems to still work in 1.15, so you guys can continue to get those cool looking guys. We also went ahead and tested this with Vindicators as well as Vex to see if they would ever lose durability on their weapons. But they don't. They're like most mobs, and in the code they actually say that they can't lose durability on their tools. We also had to come up with a villager that could be attacked by these guys but would not die. And we came up with this command here that allowed us so the villagers would not die even during our testing. We tried to give them invulnerability, but if they have invulnerability, the Vex as well as the Vindicators won't actually attack them. So that's a good command to use in the future whenever you're trying to test something like this. Next up, we have a little floating seagrass here. And this is a strange little trick that you guys showed me to do with seagrass actually containing its water. So if we go ahead and grab the seagrass and we break it, you put one seagrass in here and you break the glass, you see the water flows out. But if we put a tall seagrass in there, so we just have to bone mill this one, and it is tall, if you go ahead and break the glass, the water doesn't actually update. So you can have these little pillars of water where you can kind of move in and out of them without them updating. And that still seems to work in the newest snapshot. And over here we have an example to make Daedalus items. So this is a little trick that I show you guys to do with putting items that have NBT data on them. And if it's stackable and you shift click it into enchanting table, it's going to make these uncraftable tipped arrows. And you can get other cool stuff, which I did a whole video about, but it seems to still be working in 1.15. Next up is zero ticking farms. This uses a really cool concept discovered by Toast Redstone as well as cheater code, where you can zero tick different blocks near different plants and it causes them to grow. So I put a coarse plant here and go ahead and give it some power. You can see it's piston dropping this block back and forth. So this one's shoving it over here and this guy's shoving it over here. And this is causing it to immediately grow as soon as it gets the update from underneath. And this concept was expanded upon by Cy Kryle to work with many different types of blocks as well as situations. So here we have a block updating these pistons, which is just going to briefly power them for one game tick. Let's go ahead and turn this clock on. You can kind of see how this is working. The pistons are briefly getting updated by this redstone clock here, which is a butted piston. And it's creating updates around this cactus here, which is causing it to grow immediately. And you can make a lot of cool farms using this. This one here was designed by Techman88. He also made a couple other cool designs, which you can find on his channel. So like this one here works with a cactus. If you go ahead and power it, you see the cactus is going to grow and it's just going to pop off because of this block here. The same setup here each time with sticky pistons that they're getting budded and then updated by these pistons over here. Here we have some bamboo which is growing and you can break it off with some pistons if you wanted to make a really cool farm. And here we have some sugarcane. If you just update this one, the sugarcane will start growing as well. So you can make some pretty cool nano zero tick farms using this. A lot of people ask me if this is still in the game, and it seems to still be in the game. Next up is an item dupe that they tried to fix back in 1.13. Do with item frames and then popping off at the same time the player is breaking something that is inside of it. So we put like coarse plant here and we power this, it's extending, and then when you would like leave this, you can see the piston comes back and actually the piston arm kind of comes through the piston and pushes the item frame off and the item inside of it also falls off. And the way that the dupe would work is that the player would break the item frame at the exact same time the piston breaks it. So something like this, and then the item would dupe. Now we did test this quite a bit on stream, but we couldn't get it to dupe, so there's a good chance that they went ahead and fixed this. If you want to see how it used to work, I'll put a clip down in the description. Next thing to test is the ultimate mob generator. This is a cool little mechanic where the mobs are actually in two places at once. I showed you guys this quite a while ago. It has become really popular as you can use this to actually duplicate items as well as shulker boxes full of items. So essentially a zombie is holding something, and then what we'll do is we'll let the zombie through and he has a low amount of health and he'll come in contact with this lava as well as this entrance end portal at the same time, and he'll be teleported over into the end dimension. The way it works is that the zombie mob is here in the overworld. So when the zombie here in the overworld dies, his duplicate, which is already in the end dimension, will continue to live on. Then you collect the item from this dying zombie. And this is probably one of the craziest glitches I have ever discovered in Minecraft. So here you can see the information on the zombie. He has really low health. He has 0.1 health. And you can also pick up items, so you can hold the banner. And let's go ahead and release him and watch him get killed by the lava. You see he died. You see his banner popped off. Let's go over into end dimension. We should find a banner. Yep, found the banner, as well as we found the zombie holding the banner. And the extra banner is just when I dropped it. So you should get the same amount of items that the zombie has. So he has a shulker box full of items, and you should get those as well. So that is still working. So the ultimate mob generator is working just fine. And now that we're here in the end dimension, there's a couple things I want to show you guys here. And the first one is to see if we can still get the invulnerable ender crystals. These are ender crystals that cannot be destroyed in survival. And while we're doing it, we're also going to test and see if it's still possible to summon the Ender Dragon in with just 2 Ender Crystals right across from each other. And yep. And now when the dragon is being summoned in, it's going to go around and reset all the Ender Crystals, and it's going to make them invulnerable for a short period of time. And here we just have our fly machine, which is going to update as soon as this Ender Crystal is updated. And we're going to be moving the special Ender Crystal during this period, which is invulnerable Ender Crystal. And we're going to be pushing it off to the side. Here we just have a stopper piece. Machine's just going to crash into that. And if you want to, you can interrupt the dragon summoning sequence so that the dragon doesn't summon into the game. You also notice that they did make some changes to the Obsidian platform, as now they are more moved over to the side. See, this one used to be over here, but now it was actually moved over here. This is actually a bug. They also moved the bedrock piece over in later versions as well. But we're concerned about the Ender Crystal. Right now it has this fire on it, and that is just a visual glitch. So if we relog, it should fix that. So now you can see it properly. And now let's see if this thing is actually invulnerable, meaning that you should not be able to destroy it in survival. So let's go into survival mode. Let's turn on the hitboxes so you can see how big it actually is. And let's try to break it. So I'm swinging at it, trying to break it. Yeah, you cannot break this. So it seems that invulnerable Ender Crystals are still possible to obtain in survival. These are very useful for a lot of situations where you want to have an entity occupying a space, but you don't want it to be able to be destroyed. I've used this in past for like wither cages as well as different player cages where players cannot break out of. So it's really cool to see that still works, as well as summoning the Ender Dragon with just 2 Ender Crystals. Now there's another thing here in the End Dimension that we want to go ahead and test, and that is these flying machines, which are part of a cool trick that I showed you guys a long time ago, where it's possible to get these entrance gateway portals to link up with exit gateway portals, which are out in the void. So essentially, every time you hop through one of these portals, the game's going to make a portal just like this one, but out there that is linked together, and those two will always be linked. And usually it puts the second one out at the outer end islands, but as I've discovered, it is possible to actually bring these guys in closer. And the way you used to do that is just fly a fly machine through these chunks that would occupy them, and then the game would see those chunks as a valid place to put the new gateway portal. But if you do fly one of those fly machines through the chunks and you go through it, it's still going to generate the portals out at the outer end islands, which are just around here. These are just some smaller ones that generate along the edges. And this has to do some changes that they made to do with chunks. So essentially, since there is no blocks in the chunk, the game will forget about them, and then it will try to put them out here. So now what you'll have to do is you'll just have to place down some blocks before generating the portal. So in this direction here, I have an example. Here is a portal that we're going to go through. We don't go through it right away. We first want to go out to the outer end islands. You can either use Elytra or you can just build out there. It is 1,000 blocks away, so it's pretty darn far. And here I have an example. This is normally the path which a flying machine would fly right between these 2 chunks. Instead, we just place some blocks along here. Now, when the game will check these chunks, it'll see that there is blocks here, and it'll try to put the portal above this area right here. So let's head back to the main end island. Now, since there's blocks over, we can go ahead and hop through this portal, and you'll see that we have a new end island that is placed near the stone blocks that we put in. So essentially, it's going to try to find the closest blocks to the main end island, which is over there, and the outer end islands are that direction. And then from that block, it's going to put in a endstone island that is within this chunk. So I put it right over here. This is the center, and you put a whole island around it, and then it put the gateway portal in the farthest corner of that island. So you see it's way over here in this corner here. And that's how you get your gateway portals out in the void, because normally they spawn around 1,000, and here we have this one around 790. You also can move this portal up or down depending on your blocks over there. And you'll need to put down an endstone block in order for it to be moved up or down. But it does work. We just had to do some small changes to do with the changes that they made. But you can still get your gateway portals out in the void, which is really cool to see. So let's head back to spawn and look at some more things like TNT duping and rail duping. So over here we have some examples of carpet duping, rail duping, as well as TNT duping. Let's go ahead and give them a test. So if we go ahead and power this, we can see that the carpet does dupe. So the carpet duper is working. We can do the same thing for this rail duper. The rail got duped. That is a normal rail, and over here is a special rail. So this could be like your activator rail, detective rail, or powered rail. That one duped as well. And right here is the TNT duper. This is just one of the main designs I came up with. And let's go ahead and power this, and you can see the TNT does dupe. We got the initial one here as well as the extra one that was duplicated over there. So all those still work in 1.15. Down here I have the test to see if we're still able to put stackable items inside of a brewing stand. That was a really cool trick to do with spacing glass bottles out and then shift clicking them into the brewing stand one at a time. And as you see, you can get stacked items inside of a brewing stand in a slot where you normally can only place in bottles, which are unstackable. And using this trick, it's possible to get up to 2.1 billion items in a single stack in survival, which is pretty crazy to see. Now over here we have our sand generator as well as our dragon egg generator. So let's go ahead and test them. This is just a simple sand generator. As you see, there's not very much to this. You turn this on and it starts to duplicate the sand. This would be your entrance end portal. Now, you guys often ask me, since these entrance end portals have these end frames around them, you wonder how it's possible to destroy these. And this is where you use the different bedrock breaking methods, such as that one over there or like that one over there, to destroy those. Once those are removed, you go ahead and duplicate sand like this, building this simple device here. So let's turn that one off. We should find some sand over there. Let's go ahead and turn on the dragon egg duplicator. It's not much bigger, and we have a small clock over here. And with this one, we have to put the item in after you start it. So I put the item in right as it's extended like this, and it's going to start duplicating the dragon egg, or at least it used to. Let's see if it actually works. So let's hop over into end dimension. We should see some sand as well as eggs go flying off into distance. We do. There goes the eggs as well as the sand. So they did duplicate. So it's great to know that those type of duplicators, sand, gravel, concrete, or dragon eggs, or you can even do anvils, all still work. So let's head back over into overworld, and then let's head over into the nether dimension. One test over here, which is a pretty interesting one. This is using the cool trick to do with portal pearl warping. And this is to test to see if portal pearl warping still works in 1.15. So the way that this would work is that you would go into survival and throw an ender pearl into a nether portal, and then it would teleport you 8 times that distance in the nether, and then if you're in overall, it would take you to 1/8 of your distance. So using this method, we were able to get out to the world border in under 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and try it out. So we hop in here, jump up and throw an ender pearl down. You gotta make sure you're kind of lined in the center, so throw an ender pearl like that. And yeah, you see it teleported me back here after a short delay. I'll show you guys that again. Throw ender pearl down, and it teleported me like inside this block, but after a short delay. So it seems that this portal pearl warp no longer works in versions like 1.14 or like 1.15. This most likely is due to the changes that they made with chunk loading, because in that version 1.14 they introduced some chunk loading to do with items going through portals. And ever since they changed that, it's no longer possible to do the portal pearl warp. Maybe we'll be able to find another way of doing this and be able to get out to the world border, but the old method clearly does not work. Back here in the overworld, over here we have my quick iron farm, which you guys really like. Here is the entire farm just in a structure block that I placed over here. And we have the villagers, we have the zombie, and here's the killing chamber with the lava over here. You guys can kind of see how it works. When it turns night, the villagers are trying to sleep, and this will allow them to reset their sleeping. They're constantly being woken up by the zombie over here, and this is causing iron golems to be spawned in. Then when it turns daytime, these guys are able to work at their workstations, allowing them to reset that stat, which are the 2 main things they need in order to produce iron golems. So you can see that more iron golems will spawn here. So there's another one. So it works in daytime as well as the nighttime. A lot of times you guys ask me if this still works. If you guys have trouble with it, be sure to check out the world download, or you can check out this one here. Made some small changes, like I put a button up there so that iron golem will spawn up there, as well as I switched it to a composter. So it's really easy to see if your villagers accidentally chose this one as their workstation. You need to make sure that they choose the cauldrons and they're all leather workers. Also, if you have trouble with the gates down here burning, you can always put in fences or banners which do not burn. But you can see it still works, and this is one of those designs which is really simple. It's really nice to see that it's continuing to work. This is an easy way to get tons of iron in your survival world. So if you guys are wondering how to get the zombie into this little composter here, all you have to do is have your zombie walk into the villagers. So we have some trapdoors here. These are just facing down like this. This one's preventing him from going too far to one side, and this one's going to close it off so he can't jump out. And have your zombie be able to walk up here so you can grab him from anywhere. So the zombie can come from out here, and he'll just walk up in here. And what you want to do is just be ready to close this trapdoor, so he'll hop in there and then just close that trapdoor, and now he is stuck in there. Go ahead and remove all that. And the zombie is stuck in there, and you can remove this stuff too. And you can leave the trapdoor in there if you want to, or you can always put in a slab underneath, but it doesn't matter. Just need something so the zombie cannot escape. And you do need to have a block on top that prevent the sun from burning it. So if you don't have this block up here, make sure you have a slab, and make sure you don't have a block that the iron golem can spawn on top of. So now the zombie is in place, and he cannot leave. So it's really easy to get a zombie into this farm. I really like this world as it's very nice to come into a single place and check out many different things to see if they still work. And like I said, if you guys have any suggestions of other things I should stick in this world so we could test it in between each version, be sure to tell me down below in the comments. If you guys like to see a fresh example of this world, I will provide the world download in the description. And if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to go ahead and leave a like as well as share it with somebody who is asking about these very same things. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.